Hello, everyone. Welcome back or welcome to our first live session of 2025 with me. And today we will see the getting started webinar. So we will see together how to start using the app or how Magic Plan works. So maybe you can find some tips in this video that can be helpful for your use case. Let me just check here if everything is fine. Perfect. In my background, you also see part of the app showing. So if you're wondering what's behind me, this is the background reproducing part of the app, and now it's gone. Okay, perfect. Thank you, Fernando. Okay. So I hope that you've had a beautiful start of 2025. I'm just giving you guys the time to connect so that more people, so maybe more people are interested in this video. If you have any questions and it's maybe the first time that you're joining us for a getting started with Magic Plan, feel free to write me a comment in the live comment session and I will check with you or will answer your question. Okay, perfect. So I would say that we can share the screen of my phone. Give me one sec that I take here the Magic Plan page and I share it with you guys. Here we go. One sec. Okay. I'm still here. You can see me. I'm like teeny tiny here at the bottom of your video. Okay, perfect. So now you should be able to see my app. I think that everything is working fine. Perfect. So this is now my project page, which means that once you download the app and you start using it, you create your projects and then this is what you see, right? So you will have all your projects listed. If you never created a project before, you will simply have a plus in the middle of your page and from there you can start creating projects. If you want, you can also archive a project or also add it to favorites. So you simply have to tap on the three dots of a project and here you have all the options: favorite, move, duplicate, or archive here. And maybe we can mark it as favorite. As you can see here, we have the little star. And if we go in the favorites here, we will see our project or projects, if you have more, listed here. And once you do not need a project anymore, you can unfavorite every time. Give it one sec. Okay, here we go. Unfavorite. Perfect. So the list can be adapted to your needs. This is useful, for example, if you have a lot of projects and you're currently working on 2 or 3 projects only, then you mark them as favorites so you don't have to look for them, even if it's now super easy to look for a project because you can look for it here in the search bar. For example, if I tap new, you will see here I get the projects with this word. But if you have project with specific addresses or a specific name, that precise project will pop out, of course. Okay, and here, if you don't need a project anymore in your main page because it's something that, let's say it's completed, it's a project that it's done, then you can put it here in the other folder, still from here, right? We can do like this, and we can decide if we want to archive it or not. Let's say cancel in this case, we want to keep it here, just in case someone else needs it, because this is a shared workspace. It's not only me working in this workspace. Okay, then let's see what we have also on this main page. If you have more workspaces, you can change the workspace from here, right? From the top, you see, in my case, you can read total clean restoration. And if you tap on the 2 little arrows, you can change the workspace. Just for clarify this point, once you start using Magic Plan, the first workspace is automatically created by the app. So you don't have to worry about that. But then if you want to have more workspaces, you create them in your Magic Plan Cloud and they will be automatically listed here. So you can switch in that case. Okay, hopefully it's clear, but I think so. Okay, then we have the community toggle, as you can see here at the bottom. I'm not tapping on it because I will see also the emails of you guys, and we don't want to share the private info. So if you tap on the community toggle, you're more than welcome to check. You can also discuss any questions or topics with other Magic Plan users, because there are more than 1,000 people in the community. I don't know how many people do we have right now. I don't know if I can quickly see it. We have more than 2,200 people being part of our beautiful Magic Plan community. So you can, of course, share thoughts or ask something to other users there. Then we have the Beautiful Academy, which is something that we recently launched. You can simply log in and then you can take a look at the Academy. So if you have a paid subscription, for example, then you can check many courses there, quick and easy. So you can take a look at different features there, how Magic Plan works for a specific feature that you need to be more, let's say, clear for you. And then we have profile, of course. So here you have all your settings, right? So you can set up here your picture and all the infos for yourself. Then you can also set up the info for your company profile, of course, upload your logo, etc. And maybe just one little note here on this profile page, the app preferences is where you can change the units. I'm mentioning this because some people asked me in the last weeks, how do I change the units? So here you can do it, right? From metric to feet or inches, what you use in your country, right? And then you can take a look without any pressure here and see all the infos that you have in your profile. Okay, now I would say that we could create a quick project together to see how it works. If you never created a project before, perhaps, so you're just here to check how to do that, right? So we can tap on the plus, new project, and here we can decide how we want to start, right? If you don't want to draw your floor plan because, I don't know, you only use pictures, you could start adding photos, for example. So let's say that we don't want to start with the floor plan. So, right, drawing, right, in your app, we can tap on the plus near photos. Let's use camera. I'm just going to take a picture here of my table. Okay, and voila, we can start with that, and we do next. Okay, I'm gonna come back to this page maybe in a bit because we don't want to lose ourselves in the photos right away, but we can do save all, and voila, you see that I started my project using the photo section. Okay, if instead I want to start, let's say, in the classic, more classic way, using a like drawing a floor plan, you can do that. Tap on the plus, ground floor, for example, and I can start drawing. So I can tap on insert room, and here you have all the options. Okay, we're gonna focus on these features in a couple of weeks with a live where we are only going to create a project, so using all the features and check everything. So don't worry if we do not go too in depth now, but we will do it together in the next weeks. So you can stay with me also in the next Tuesdays. Okay, let's start adding a square room. Okay, just to see, because if I would use the scan now, I would have to walk, but we will do that also in another live. Now I start here with hidden. Let's say that we want to add an office, so I can switch to commercial on the top here, and I will add a private office. Okay, we have it like this. If we want, we can already edit the room now. We could, let's say, add a corner here. So we say this room has this shape. Or maybe, I don't know, there is something here that it's a bit splitted. We can also do, I don't know, like this, because we have a room with a specific form. If you do something wrong, don't worry, you have the undo arrow on the top left and it goes back to where it was, okay? Let's insert another room. Let's add a room with defined corners, and I would add a, let's do a kitchen in this case. So we can add it maybe, let's do it here. Kitchen, voila. Then as you can see, when you're drawing like this, you can really decide the shape of your room, right? So it's useful if you have, for example, a room with a very particular shape and you're drawing it, you're not scanning the room for some reasons, then maybe it's easier to go this way or to start drawing this way instead of, of starting with a squared room and then edit it, okay? So just a suggestion. Okay, now we have private office, the kitchen. Okay, let me add another room. Let's do again define corners. Let's take the hallway, for example. We can add it like this. Okay. So you can see you can start in the blank space. You can create the rooms already attached to each other. You can also create a, let's create a little room here. Let's do add a square room this time, living room. If I tap on edit layout on the bottom here, you will see that the room turns blue. I can also go to another room if I want to move another room, right? So it's up to you, and then you can move it where you need. If you use the green, let's say the bigger green, how can we call it? Line, sign. If you use this green sign, the room will be aligned using the walls. As you can see here, right? The corners are not perfectly in a line. If you instead use, let me zoom out a bit, the green dots, let me, let me do it if my app wants. So here, there we go. If you use the little dots, then the corners will be used as a reference to align your rooms. And if I let go, voila, the room snaps and they're perfectly aligned. It depends on what you have to create and what you want to achieve. Now, I left a little space here. I can see you. Hi, hello, hi there. Okay, you can also let me know where you guys are watching from, because I see people joining. So maybe you can also let me know if you're watching, I don't know, from Florida, from Germany, France, wherever you are. It's always nice to hear where you're watching our videos, right? Okay, now let me just fill in this little space and we can use a filler. Let's add a filler wall in this case. So we insert a room, insert a filler wall. So we move it here, we position it, and we let it go. And you see that we have a space. If you check in the info, the filler wall has been calculated with a surface, right? So this space exists. It's on our project. It's on our floor, but it's not a living space. This is always what I say. We do not go and walk inside the filler wall. Perhaps we have some pipes in there or something for our, let's say, building that it's part of our walls or whatever. And it's filled in like this, but the space is calculated in this way. You can change the color if you don't like the stripes, right? We swipe up to go to the info section. It's a bit different than with the tablet, because when we use the tablet, you see the info section on the right side, and here it's appearing from the bottom, basically. Okay, so we can change the color. Let's make it gray. Okay, now I go down and voila, it's gray. Okay, if instead I want to add a room somewhere where I have, let's say here we have a space, right? And we want to fill it in with a filler room. Instead of drawing all the little corners to, let's say, have to be precise and like get the right points, we can simply do insert room, insert a filler, and filler room. And let's say that this is just it's a balcony for some reasons. We can do it. I've lost it. Where is it? Here. Balcony. Okay. We let it go and voila. If the size is wrong, still no panic. You can enter your room and you can edit it. Okay. So you just start pulling out the or pulling out or pulling in the walls depending on how wrong the size is, and we can pull it in like this. Let me check where I'm going. Here we go. Boom. Okay. And as simple as that, the room has been resized in the proper shape. Now, I want to show you guys one thing because I didn't show it in the last live videos, but I kept getting some questions about this. So if I have a little room that I want to add inside the bigger room, right? If you're with me or with us for since like at least 1 or 2 years, you've probably heard of this way to do that. But if you're new, you maybe don't know this. So if you already heard me saying this, just don't hear. Okay. So now we want to add a small room here. What do? We have to create the space. Okay. So as if it would be in real life. Okay. You need the space for a room so you can um, add an extra room in your house. You're not bringing something prefabricated and put it inside the house, right? Same thing with magicplan. So we add a corner here. We pull in part of the room where we want to add the smaller room. As you can see, let me exit so you see here we created the space. Now we insert a room and we select the filler and filler room. Now it doesn't matter what room, let's say that's a closet, and we position this arrow in the space. We let it go. Okay. Now don't panic. Still, if the size is not correct, because you see that I had a corner right there, so the app thought, this is all a filler room. It's a giant closet. Perfect. No. So we can pull this in. We can pull the other wall in. It takes 1 sec. Okay. And we pull the other wall in. Help yourself. You see the dots, right? Voila. And now if I exit, boom, you see that we have the smaller room inside the bigger room. Otherwise, what a lot of you guys do when start using the app is inserting another room. I will show you the wrong way so you see the difference. I created with define corners, just something you can do like this, right? And then the idea is to edit layout and then you pull it out. But then once you exit, ta-da, you see that it's wrong because you have dotted lines. Dotted lines means that something has been built the wrong way. So the rooms are overlapping, okay? And you cannot edit them properly afterwards. So let me undo this because I will never be able to get the bedroom down there, and we delete it. Okay, so perfect. If you want, you can change the color of your rooms, but I think you guys know. Oh, let me go back here. It changed the page. Okay, so here we go. We have the hallway. If you want to add objects, then you can go ahead and insert object from the library. Also here, a little information that can be interesting. Because the objects are now listed alphabetically. So if you have the feeling that you do not find an object anymore, you can first of all look for it here in the search bar, because we did not remove objects, I promise you. Or just take a look for this object in the category where it is supposed to be. For example, indoors, you see it starts with arch door because it's starting with A. But if you go down, not changing the page, just go down. Here we go. You see that we have also the, let's say, regular doors, the hinge door, the opening. So they're all listed. They're maybe in a different position. Just take a look in the library if you don't find an object. So we can add here a door. I also see here Stephen, hi, from Chester, Northwest UK. Beautiful. Okay, let me add something, another object, maybe a piece of furniture here. We could add the, if I find my favorite object, one of my favorite objects, I would say, I'm looking for the L-shaped sofa, and there it is. Boom, L-shaped sofa. You can put it here. Okay. Little note for this object and some other objects that have a specific shape. If you go in the info, you can also mirror the object if you need it the other way around. So if I go back, you see, boom, that it has been rotated like this. So with the chaise longue on the other side, so to say. Okay, perfect. And we will play around a bit more with the room creation and so on with the objects, so we don't have to look at all the objects right now. But then what you could do here, we also have the rotate option. This is something you guys asked for several times, and there it is. So if you want, you can rotate your project. Maybe I rotated it not really like 100% as I wanted, from 180 degrees, more or less. Let's do like this. Okay. So this is nice, for example, if you need to create your project with the orientation in direction north, as an example, right? You can rotate it in the direction that you need, and you could also add a compass rose. I think it's called like that. Let me check. Here it goes. Compass rose, and you can add it to your project and say, look, there is north, and my project is oriented exactly like that. So no one can understand it the wrong way. Everyone knows that it is like this in real life. Okay, perfect. Do you guys have any questions until now, or are we good to go? I see that we have no questions. Okay, perfect. Then let's go to 3D. We don't have a lot to see here because we didn't add as many objects, but we can also take a look. Nothing wrong with that. As you can see, you can rotate your plan, right? So you can play around, you can move it in your space, you can use your 2 fingertips to rotate it and move it around and see and check. Okay, here we have our balcony. As you can see, it's a bit different because, of course, the balcony is not closed with walls and looks like this. And we can also go, let me first go back to 2D and enter a room. For example, here, living room. We have a lot of space, and I select a wall. If I go in the elevation view, as you can see here, I can insert an object directly from this view. So as I always say, so to have a better idea of how it looks like in real life. Okay, so if you're planning a new apartment, for example, you can here insert object. Let me add a window, for example, here. This one, we put it there. And then we can check, we can say, you know what, I have enough space here. Maybe I want to add 2 windows to have more light. Okay, sorry. Instead of inserting another window, we can simply duplicate this one. And if we want to have 2 different objects for some reasons, it doesn't have to be a window, it can be something else. We can also do here swap window, and maybe we can add, I don't know, a window just to change. Okay, so you see, and then you can also play around with this in the elevation view. Okay, let me go back to 2D. Then once you're happy with your project, you can export it directly from here with the arrow, right? So you can personalize each format from the side. You have report, PDF, so you can see here that you can really decide what you want to show on your PDF, and then all the other formats. Just take a look. Also, if you download the app for free and you want to test the features with the 2 free projects, you have everything available. So feel free to play around and check what you would need or what you like, and also with the settings here. Okay, and let me generate a report PDF, for example. I just tap here on report PDF. Okay. Don't wonder if I sometimes look on the side. I just check here that everything is showing, right? To double check and be sure that you see what I am showing. Okay, perfect. So now we're here on our, this is now a quick PDF, right? Because we didn't add a lot of notes or pictures or something. We just added a picture and then our easy project, so to say. Okay, here on the top, you see that we have a squiggly line, the export arrow. Again, if we want to share it with someone quickly, for example, we have someone near us, we can also airdrop the PDF from here directly. Then we have here the three dots. With the little thing. With the squiggly line, we can start editing here with the settings that you have on the bottom. Otherwise, you can go on the three dots and check what you would like to do. Edit, rename, share, or delete the PDF. Now we can do edit. It's the same thing as the squiggly line, as you prefer, right? Okay, and here we have the option to edit our project. Little note, here you see on the top, let me help myself here. You see that there is like a page, a square sign that's like the symbolizing the pages, right? If you tap on it, you can go into this view of your PDF, and you can also tap on the edit toggle on the upper right corner here. And if you have a page that you don't want to have for some reason, you don't need it, it's not necessary or whatever, you simply select the page and you can here decide what you want to do, right? You see on the bottom, you have insert, replace, extract, copy, rotate, and also delete. We delete it now. Once you're happy, we can tap on done. Okay, now we can go back here. Okay, and we can also decide to do some further editings if we enter our project, right? So we could also add some annotations, or if we want to say, look, take a look at this corner. Okay, once you're done, then save everything, and a copy will be generated of your report. So you don't have to worry. The original PDF will still be there, and the new PDF will be generated with the editings that you do. So if you accidentally delete the wrong page, you can redo it. Okay, perfect. Let me go back here on our main page. You can also see here at the bottom, right, all the PDFs that you have, that you generated, and you don't have to go inside the floor to export a file. You can also do it from here on the top right. Okay, sometimes I have to think left and right. Right. Okay, perfect. So you can see here that you have all the same export formats. Okay, let's close this one. And maybe we can check something here on the photos, because before I said we don't focus too much on the photos yet. So now we can take a look. If you don't have a floor plan, so you don't want to draw a floor plan, and as we said at the beginning, you just add pictures, you can go on see all. Now imagine that, let me take one more picture. So we have at least two pictures. You can see here where you want to, let's say, attach them. Let's say here, first floor. Okay, now, sorry, what did I add? I added a floor. Amazing. I wanted to add a picture, but look, we can delete the first floor because it's empty. So here, delete, delete. Okay, now I want to add a photo. So camera, let's add it a bit another direction. So we can decide here, where do we want to attach it? Let's say ground floor, and we attach it to the private office. So you can be more precise, right? You can decide the layer where you want to have the photo displayed. Okay, let's go next. Okay, so if you already know what you want to add to your picture, what editings you need to do, you can do it right away, right after you take the photo. So you see here at the bottom, edit, markup, captions. Let's do edit. I never do it from the phone. I normally do it from the tablet. So, okay, we have all the settings at the bottom here. So we can, here we have rotation, the scale, right? We can edit the photo. So you see here, we could cut it. Okay. We could change here the contrast, brightness, saturation, what you do with photos, right? When you want to improve the quality here. If we want to add more contrast or less contrast, let's add a bit of contrast like this. Okay. Then we can go here on this little square with the little lines. And this is to add a blurring on your photo if you have faces showing that you don't want to, let's say, show in your pictures because, I don't know, you accidentally took a picture of someone or you have some sensitive data on your photo. So you simply do like this and you can blur them. You can also move the square around and resize it if it's too big, for example, like this. Okay. Now I duplicated it. Okay, perfect. But I can also remove it. Okay, like this. And we can also mark up or we can add a text. Let's add text. I'm not really good in adding text with like the fingers, but I did my best. Okay, and you can also change the color if you don't want to have it in red. You can also make it blue and then say, let me remove this dot. Say look. Maybe don't look here because we blurred the area, but look here. Okay, perfect. And we tap on done. Okay, save. Now we're happy with that. Perfect. The photo is here. But also, if you take a picture as we did with the first one and you want to edit it later, it's fine. You can still do it, right? You enter it and you have the same principle as the PDF files. You can still tap on edit and you land in the same page. So you can go ahead and keep working from here. What I wanted to say before was that if you don't want to draw a floor plan, right? Because you start using the photos and just in case you add the floor plan, you don't have to export your file from here because then also the, let's say you added an empty floor just to have a floor so you can attach the photos there. But then also an empty page will be displayed in the PDF because a floor exists, right? Even if it's empty, but it still exists. So if you go here in the photo section, instead of the export toggle here, you tap on see all near photos. And from here, you export your file. So you can decide, do you want to have a web gallery or a PDF? Let's say we want to have a PDF and we call it test live. So that the other can also delete it if it's not needed later. Okay, perfect. A4. Okay, generate PDF. And then I think that we saw already a lot of information for a first, let's say, getting started. So here it is. Now, this is our test, right? We also have a nice thing here in the corner, a QR code. So if someone scans it, can also access our pictures, just to mention it. And you can see here that we don't have empty pages. We have our photos listed. Now, we didn't have a lot of photos, but still they're listed here and you can see your PDF. It's more organized, I would say, if you don't need a floor plan drawn. Okay. Do we have any other questions, guys, or doubts or whatever, something that you would like to ask or to see together, or we're good to go? If we're good to go, then we can slowly close our live session. Then don't worry, we will have a new one next week. So it will be just 1 week and then we will see something new about the app together. Okay, I see that we have no questions for now. Okay, I'm thinking if there's something else that we could see, but I think that we saw a lot of things. So if someone of you guys started using the app, can already see where to find all the things, at least, right? The settings and the photos and where to create the project and so on. Okay, Brian, you have a question. I'm ready. I'm wondering if the best way to get the most accurate measurements for a floor plan would be to do a full LiDAR auto scan and then editing the measurements afterwards using one of the Bluetooth. Well, this is a very good option, Brian, because we normally say that with LiDAR you get 95% accuracy. Of course, if the room has, let's say, a regular shape, it's easier to scan than if you have a room with a triangular shape. But I mean, I tested it in several rooms. It normally gets also irregular rooms. But then if you want to be sure that the measurements are like 100% correct, then yes, I would implement also the use of a Bluetooth laser meter, because then you can go from wall to wall. There's also a video, I will redo it with the new interface of the app, but it still works the same. So if you go to our video page here on YouTube, you can check the video with the Bluetooth, or how to connect a Bluetooth laser meter, and you can see how I did that. And you can then go from wall to wall, and then you can measure your, okay, you can be sure. It depends on what you have to do, because if you have to plan a kitchen, of course you need the precise measurements. You cannot say more or less, and then the kitchen doesn't fit inside your room. If you have to paint a room, even if it's 95% accurate and not 100%, then you can still adapt the material and the working hours, etc. It's not like a very big deal. I mean, then now someone will say, yes, it is a big deal, but you understand the difference, of course, right? It's not like a kitchen that is not fitting inside the room. So yes, it depends on what you would like to do afterward, Brian, but it's definitely a good option if you want to be safe and have 100% accuracy. Does my answer make you happy, or is enough for today? Okay, let me wait some seconds, because I know that we have like some seconds of delay between my answer and when you hear it. Okay, perfect. Yes, thanks. Amazing. Okay, great. If you guys have no more questions, then I think that we can slowly say goodbye for today. Next week, we're gonna have a beautiful live session. I'm thinking what I planned next week, because it's me doing the planning. Okay, next week, we're gonna have the all about the LiDAR scan session with me and with my kind colleague Fernando, who's gonna film, and we will check. I still don't know where or what rooms we are going to scan, but we're going to check together all the options that you have to scan a room, how it works. If something doesn't work, what would be the workaround, and so on. And we will do it live, so you can also see that maybe I will do some errors or so. It can happen. Okay, perfect. Thank you guys for watching and for spending your time with me. And as I always say, depending on the time zone where you are, I wish you a beautiful morning, afternoon, or evening. Bye.